Every now and then you stumble upon some of these hidden gems from the past and you wonder what could have been if the manufacturers had stayed in the market, and this could just be one of those cases. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 747-200 of European Aviation Air Charter. At the front of the box, we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and above that we have the European Aviation Air Charter branding. Then on the backside of the box, we don't find much other than, again, the European Aviation Air Charter branding. So let's not waste much more time with the box, and let's take a closer look inside to see what the aircraft model actually has to offer. And here she is, the Boeing 747-200 in one of the standard liveries of European Aviation Air Charter, but because the name of the airline is so long, let's just refer to it as European. And when I say one of the standard liveries, well, basically they had one standard livery, but they changed the colors on the aircraft. So this one is the green one. They also had one in magenta, one in blue, and one in yellow, as far as I know. But let's focus on the green aircraft in front of us, and let's start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the European branding. On the horizontal stabilizer we then have some very impressive detailing printed on here, not just the marking as to where to walk, but even specified in writing. On the fuselage we then find the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. On top of the fuselage, and a little bit hidden here in the green stripe, we do actually have some antennas indicated in the print, which is also very nice. And then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the writing of European, and plenty of small markings, hatches and sensors printed on as well. Which of course also continues around the cockpit section, where we also have the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and above that, very detailed, the emergency hatch for the cockpit. The engine nacelles follow the color scheme that we also find on the fuselage and have the silver leading edge printed on. When it comes to the physical detailing, well, it's perhaps not the best execution of Rolls-Royce RB211 engines I've ever seen, but it's definitely also not the worst. But let's move on from the engines and let us take a closer look at the wings, because they're definitely worth it. Starting off here with the top side, we can see the different flap slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We also have the markings as to where to walk on the wings, and not just with a line, but even specified in writing again. Very, very lovely. And also the underside of the wings look really, really great. And another awesome feature of the wings is the fact that netmodels has added the landing lights. The landing gear looks suspiciously similar to that which we have seen on a Saudia cargo that I reviewed recently, which makes me believe that this model perhaps has been made in the same factory. Nonetheless, it looks overall okay, but could be better. But what I do like is that they have added some print to the front landing gear. What should also be mentioned is the fact that there's a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which was not included with this aircraft model. However, I did get the model second hand, so I do not know if this was also the case when the model was newly released. And then last, but certainly not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back of the aircraft, and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 747-200 in the green standard livery of European from netmodels in scale 1 to 500 that was produced in 2003. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, it is surprisingly or scarily good, to be honest. I mean, apart from the landing gear that I'm really not a fan of, I would say the rest really does still hold up today. And in many ways is beating the standard that we get from Happer Wings. I know, I sound like a broken record, but what can I do? I find these models from the beginning of the 2000s, and they easily wipe the floor with anything that Happer throws onto the market today. It's kind of embarrassing for Happer, and it's kind of sad to think that models were that advanced in the beginning of the 2000s, and we haven't really moved on since then. No wonder that people in the Scale 500 community are struggling to keep motivated. But I digress, I should stay focused on the aircraft model itself, and other than the landing gear, as I said, it is a really awesome model. Of course, it might not be everybody's cup of tea. After all, the airline ceased operations back in 2008, and just in general, not everybody likes these older airlines, but for those who do, this is seriously a great model to get for one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.